A warm welcome to the newsroom. I am Fidelia Aguncha. A land dispute between farmers and herders has led to the death of 9 people in Malunje's Adawa village area in Herdawa district of Misau local government area of Bauchi state. It was gathered that the crisis broke out on Monday and spilled into Tuesday morning when some aggrieved persons carried out a retaliation attack. 6 persons were also injured in the attack and are currently receiving treatment at the Federal Medical Center in Azare. Confirming the incident, the State Public Relations Officer Ahmed Wakili said the force has dispatched a team from the tactical units to the area and calm has been restored. The provisional list of candidates for the September 19 governorship election in Edo State has been made public. The names published by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) contains names of governorship candidates from 14 political parties comprising 13 males and 1 female. In a statement, Festus Okoye, INEC spokesperson, encouraged members of the public to go through the nomination forms, affidavits and documents submitted by the parties on behalf of their candidate. He said any person who has reasonable grounds to believe that any information in the affidavit or any document submitted by any candidate is false may file a suit against such candidate seeking a declaration that the information contained in the affidavit is false. According to Okoye, the final list of duly nominated candidates will be published on August 13, 2020, after withdrawals by candidates and submissions by their political parties. Minister of State for Labor and Employment Festus Keyamo has been explaining why he had to disagree with lawmakers at the National Assembly on Tuesday. Keyamo had met with a joint committee of the Senate and House of Representatives on Labor and Employment to explain how his ministry plans to execute the Special Public Works Program, which seeks to create employment for 774,000 Nigerians. In the process, the minister and lawmakers disagreed on some issues, including a closed-door hearing on the matter, which led to a heated argument.
This is not a place to grandstand. This is not a place to grandstand. We are doing serious business here.
How can you expose corruption without the cameras? I must respond. I won't respond to what you said.
Honorable Minister, you are not exceptional. We had many ministers who came here, so please you can go in there alone to contest. Yes, you can go. Are you better than other ministers? Are you not sitting here to try to get a minister? We'll take it on with the presidency.
It's wrong. It's wrong. You make a submission now and you don't give respect for respond. All my life as a lawyer, I'm not browbeaten. I'm not browbeaten.
Get out, please. You are not a good lawyer. Get out. Go. Honorable Minister.
I must respond to what you said. If you don't want me to respond, and you discharge me, I will go.
Honorable Minister.
You discharge me,
Honorable Minister. Can you please keep quiet?
I will go.
The country head of the International Human Rights Commission in Nigeria has called for the fair treatment of foreign nationals on the wrong side of the law. Friday, Sani, who made this request in Abuja during a visit to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, said such treatment will also elicit reciprocal response from other countries. He was speaking against the backdrop of some Ukrainian citizens who have been in detention in Nigeria for 3 years now, awaiting trial.
I put it very clear to the Honorable Minister that the way and manner foreign nationals are being treated in Nigeria determines how Nigerians are also treated outside this country. I brought to the fore the matter of Ukrainian citizens that have been detained in Nigeria for 3 years awaiting trial. And honestly, I am very sure that the Honorable Minister is disturbed by that report I gave to him. I'm very sure because I can feel it from his countenance that He wasn't too comfortable with it. You cannot put a man under trial for 3 years in the prison yard. You know, this is the aspect that we at the angle of International Human Rights Commission can never accept with any government or anybody in the world.
We'll take a break here to bring you update on our COVID-19 coverage. Stay with us.
Hello, I'm Dr. Taufik Adeyemi, consultant orthopedic spine surgeon at National Orthopedic Hospital, Bauchi, Lagos. I'm here on the platform of Scoliosis Focus Initiative program on World Scoliosis Day. Scoliosis is an abnormal sideways curvature of the spine with some rotation. These patients present with uneven shoulders, hump in the back, and uneven pelvis. Majority of these cases are painless. Up to 5% of our population have scoliosis, and majority of them are idiopathic, meaning that the cause is unknown. You need a thorough history examination with quality X-ray to make an assessment. Your doctor will advise you on the best treatment modality for your child. Scoliosis Focus Initiative is organizing a 2 weeks free online consultation to help you during this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Welcome back. Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa and his wife have tested positive for COVID-19. Governor Okowa made this known on Wednesday on his verified Twitter handle. The governor wrote that he and his wife are well and have continued isolating and currently under medication. He, however, thanked the people of Delta State for their continued prayers for his family, particularly his daughter. Delta State have recorded 965 confirmed cases of COVID-19 since it recorded its index case on April 8, 2020. The Nigerian Medical Association and the Nigeria Union of Teachers have disagreed with the federal government over its decision to reopen schools. The apex organizations of medical doctors and teachers in the country said a directive that graduating classes should resume was not only badly thought out but also could expose both teachers and pupils to COVID-19. NMA President Innocent Uja, who spoke on the issue in Jos, said given the current low level of compliance by Nigerians with COVID-19 safety protocols, it was risky to ask pupils to resume school. On his part, NUT General Secretary Mike Ene said the government was playing politics with the directive. Nigeria currently has over 25,600 COVID-19 cases, with 590 deaths recorded across 35 states of the Federation. The approval by the federal government for the resumption of domestic flights will only be given when it is safe to open the airport and airspace to commercial operations. This is according to the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA. The NCAA declared that private jets were not allowed to operate chartered flight services. General Manager, Public Relations Department, NCAA, Sam Adirogboye, who announced the directive, said though the federal government had given approval to resume domestic flight, the airspace would only be opened when it is safe. Non-governmental organization Action Against Trafficking in Person and Smuggling of Migrants in Nigeria has donated palliatives worth 18 million naira to the National Agency for Protection of Trafficking in Person, NAPTIP, and the network of civil society organizations against child trafficking, abuse, and labor. The project, which is implemented by FII-APP and funded by the European Union, aims to provide support in enhancing the comfort of trafficked persons and smuggled migrants in shelters. During the presentation of the COVID-19 palliative package, EU Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS Ketil Carson recognized trafficked persons as among the most affected groups during the pandemic, hence the need for the intervention.
My senior leadership, the presidents and heads of state of Europe, have all said that it is absolutely vital not to leave Africa alone in this situation. And I believe Nigeria is one of the places, if not the place, where we have actually done the most, identifying very early on 50 million euros, some 24 billion nairas in support through the One UN Basket Fund, where just a few days ago we managed to bring in literally tons of PPE, 545 oxygen concentrators, a number of other equipment. And today we are really taking another step, because we must not forget the most vulnerable groups. We must not forget the victims of human trafficking. We must not forget the victims of rape and gender-based violence in particular these days. People with disabilities. All of these people living under very difficult circumstances, as Nigeria is struggling during the crisis as everywhere else in the world.
What we are doing with the project is to support Nigerian government agencies in their fight against trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants. So our role is to support the agencies in the work they are doing so they can improve their performance.
We have very professional officers working for NAPTIP. This is not the first time we are getting palliatives. And they know that these palliatives are meant for victims in the shelter, not for them. And I can assure you, not one of our officers will take a grain of this rice. This rice is going to those that are in the shelter, because that is what it is meant for. I lead by example, and my staff know me better than that. They know that not even a bag of rice will leave this place to my house. And so it shall be.
Let's now talk business. A total of 66 billion naira has been generated as stamp duty revenue by the federal government between January and June 2020. Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mohammed Nami, disclosed this during the inauguration of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Audit and Recovery of Back Year Stamp Duties. Nami, while giving a breakdown of the revenue, added that the Finance Act has mandated the Revenue Agency as the sole body to receive stamp duties for the country. Oil prices rose on Wednesday on improving factory activities in China and drawdown in U.S. crude inventories, both indicating an economic recovery and rise in energy demand despite surging coronavirus infections around the world. Brent crude was up 90 cents to $42.17 a barrel, while U.S. crude was up by 90 cents as well to $40.17 a barrel. According to data released by the American Petroleum Institute late on Tuesday, U.S. crude and gasoline stocks fell more than expected last week. Sentiment was also boosted by signs that China's factories slowly gathered steam in June after the government lifted lockdown measures. On the foreign scene, as Hong Kong marks the 23rd anniversary of its handover from Britain to China, over 70 people have been arrested for violating a new national security law imposed by China's central government late Tuesday night. The first demonstrator to be detained was a man arrested for holding a black independence flag, and afterward a woman with a sign reading Hong Kong Independence. The continuous new law allows authorities to crack down on subversive and secessionist activity in Hong Kong, sparking fears that it would be used to curb opposition voices in the semi-autonomous territory. And in sports, Super Falcons forward Desire Okpana-Rosier have joined French women's side Dijon on a 2-year contract. The club announced this in a statement released on Tuesday. Okpana-Rosier had spent 6 years with another French club, Guingamp, before transferring to Dijon. The 26-year-old is 4 times Africa Women's Cup of Nations winner and has represented Nigeria at 3 FIFA Women's World Cups. Coach Yannick Chadieu believes Okpana-Rosier will help raise the level of play of Dijon, who finished 9th on the league log last season. And that's the latest from the newsroom. Many thanks for joining us. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.